Hi, welcome to my video on a review of piecewise defined functions. And this review, like all others, is treated as a quiz. And as you do each question, give yourself a mark and total up the marks on each page and mark it at a 25. Let's do the review of piecewise functions. Number 1, find the value of each. We have a piecewise function into two parts. This part, we want to find the f of -4. And the f of -4 is less than -1. So we got a negative. And x is -4, so we sub it into the expression. And we work it out. -4 squared is -5 squared is 25. So that's a -25 plus 2, which is a -23. And we want the f of 2. The f of 2 is greater than -1, so it fits here. So we have -4, -2 plus 3. -4 times -2 is 8 plus 3, and that gives us 11. So we got -23, 11. Give yourself 2 marks. Oh, that's when I said that's a 2, I put a -2. Why did I put a -2 in there? Don't know. One of those errors, -8. So that gives us -5 for the answer. Sorry about that. Just got careless. And let's do B, P. And we have 3 intervals, but we want to find the P of 7. 7 fits greater than 2. So 7 goes into place of x. So that's -7 plus 3. Absolute value of -4. The absolute value is always positive. So it's a 4. Give yourself a mark if you have 4. And P of -3. -3 lies right here. So we have the negative of 6. Subtract x, which is -3 minus 1. So that's just double negative is positive, so 6 plus 3 is 9. And the square root of 9 is 3. -3 minus 1 is -4. Each of those will give you a mark. Now we want to graph this piecewise function. And this one, I'm going to label it as y equals half x minus 1, where x is greater than -2. So we can do a couple of ways. We can start with the -2. This is a line, which is y equals mx plus c, which has a y-intercept of -1 and a slope of a half. So what we can do, if we want, we can start with the y-intercept of -1, which is here, and we can go down. Its slope is half, so we can go up 1, right 2. We go up 1, right 2, we can do it that way. Or we start here and go down 1, left 2, which is here. But we have to start where x is -2. So x is -2 here, and that's a hollow dot. And we graph, there it is, that's the line. We could also do a table of values starting at -2, then go to -1 and 0, 1, get these ordered pairs also. So it's the same here. And we have the other part of this function is negative square root of -x minus 1, where x is less than or equal to -2. And in this function, we can do an ordered pair, but a square root will be the inverse of a parabola, so parabola goes up and down. So this one will go sideways. But because there's negative, the y is going down. So if we do a table of values on this one, it starts at -2. So the -2, put the -2 in here. So that's the negative of a -2 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. The square root of 1 is 1. So that gives us -1. Now, if we try to find a number to give us a perfect square, so we had a 1 here, so we put in, let's say we want Let's see. If we get a negative 5, try negative 5. So what you do is we got a 0 just in. So let's go with negative 5. Negative of a negative 5 is plus 5. 5 minus 5 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So that's a negative 2. And you could have taken a negative 3 in between here if you wanted. Then a negative 3 would give you a positive 3, so that's the square root of 2, so that's a negative root 2. And a negative root 2 is 1.3 or 1.4 approximately. So let's start here at x is negative 2, y is negative 1. So negative 2, negative 1 is right here. And because it's equal to negative 2, that's a solid dot. And when x is negative 3, y is negative 2, negative root 2, which is a negative 1. Negative 2 is a negative 1.4, so let's say is right there. Negative 5 is right here, and we get a negative 2. There it is. So as I said, it's the inverse of a parabola, and the parabola goes up and down, so this goes up and down, so this one is a parabola would go like that or like that, but the inverse would go sideways. So this one is going sideways, and there it is. There's not a line. It's going like this. There it is. That's the graph. So if you graph this one correctly, you get 3 marks. If you graph this one correctly, you get 3 marks. And that's a total of 10 for that page. And again, your table of values, you can do a table of values on this one starting at negative 2, or you can do the y-intercept and the slope. Number 3, we have number 3, and let's see, we got a piecewise function made of 3 parts. Let's start with the first part. We make the equation y equals x minus 4 squared. And I need a new pen here. This pen just ran out on me. Okay, let's write that down again. There it is, better pen. So, and this is x is greater than or equal to 3. So this is a parabola. And the vertex of this parabola, is x is 4, y is 0. So that means we can take the table of values and work out, let's see what we can do. We got the vertex, x is 4, we get a 0. So x is 4, y is 0. So there's the vertex of the parabola right here. Because this is positive, the parabola is moving upward. So if I do a table of values and put 4 in the middle, then I can do a 3 and a 1, or I can do a 5 and a 6 on that table of values. So I said a 3 and a 1, I'm going to keep them together, 3 and a 2. So let's put 3 into this equation. 3 into this equation gives us negative 1 squared is 1. Now, we can only go greater than or equal to 3. We can't take the 2, so even though 2 will fit in the equation, but it won't fit in the domain for this parabola that we're trying to, part of the parabola we're trying to grab. So we have to put a 4 in. 4 gives us 0. Put a 5 in. 5 minus 4 is 1. 1 squared is 1. And if we put a 6 in, 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So 3 gives us a 1. 3 gives us a 1. 3 gives us a 1. My mistake. Gotta be careful. 4 gives us a 0. 5 gives us a 1 back again. And 6 gives us a 4. So there's the parabola. So it's going down like that, and it's going up. And I can't leave that dot there in the parabola, so I gotta use a whitener to take it away. Again, I normally apologize. I make mistakes. hopefully you can see where the mistakes are. If you do, that's good because you recognize what you're doing. So there's the parabola doing that. Here it should be. And now let's look at the equation y equals negative x minus 1. So y equals negative absolute value of x minus 1 plus 2, where 0 less than x is less than 3. So that means this is an absolute value. An absolute value will be a V shape. So the vertex of this parabola is that x is 1, y is 2. So let's look at the table of values to see where the numbers lie. So we're starting at 0, and we go to 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So the vertex is in this interval. So let's put a 0 in here. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. The absolute value of negative 1 is 1. The negative of 1 is negative 1 plus 2. That gives us 1. And we put a 1 in, we get the vertex. Put a 1 in here, we get a 0. Absolute value of 0 is 0. Negative 0, no such thing as 0. 0 can't be negative, so 0 plus 2 is a 2. We put 2 in. 2 gives us a 1. Absolute value of 1 is 1. We get a negative 1 plus 2 is 1. Put a 3 in. We get a 2. Absolute value of 2 is 2. And negative 2 plus 2 is a 0. So that gives us, let's see, x is 0, y is 1. That's right there. And remember, the 0 and the 3 are hollow dots. That's hollow there. So 1 gives us a 2. 2 gives us a 1. And 3 gives us a 0. But this is hollow right here. So it's a, there it is there. It's a V shape. And we have one more. We have y is equal to negative 3 when x is less than 0. So if we think about it, we got y is less than 0. So y is 0, y is negative 1, y is negative 2. So no matter what x is, y is always, no matter what x is, y is always negative 3. So look what I did. Now, apologize again, just one again, not thinking, not careful. X is less than 0. X is 0, negative 1, negative 2. And no matter what x is, y is negative 3. Just got to be careful. So that looks like a horizontal line. Y is negative 3 is a horizontal line going at, so 0 can't have this point. So 0, x is 0, y is negative 3 is hollow. And that's that point, and that point, and that point. So this is a horizontal line right here. There it is. At y is negative 3. I apologize for this error here because I had to put the values of x in first. And the y's are always negative 3. And we have 8 marks for that one. So if you graph the parabola correctly, you have that right, you get 3 marks. If you graph the absolute value correctly, you get 3 marks. If you graph this correctly, then you get the horizontal line at negative 3. Then you get 2 marks, so 8 altogether. So hopefully everything is going okay and don't make the errors like I'm making. I have a tendency to make some errors, so I got to be careful, always checking what I'm doing. Now, last part of the review, state the piecewise function representing the graph. So we have the graph. Let's take the graph into this piece, and this piece, 3 parts. So we got y is equal to, so this piece here looks like it's a line. So we got a line as y equals mx plus b. Let's see, we don't have a y-intercept, so we draw a line going down. So the best thing to do is to get the slope. So let's use the ordered pairs of, let's use this ordered pair here as 2, 3. And let's use this ordered pair as 3, 4. Okay, so to get the slope of a line, we will do slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So that's y2, 4 minus 3. x2 is 3 minus 2. So that's 1 over 1, which is 1. So the slope is 1. Now, if we write in y equals, the slope is 1, and we got to find the b. So let's take the point. Take this point, y is 3, and x is 2, and sub that in. So 3 equals 2 plus b, so b equals 3 minus 2, so b equals 1. So the equation is y equals 1x, which is just x, plus 1. And that's over the interval starting at x is 2. And it's not equal to, but greater. X is going to the right, so it's greater than 2. Now, let's look at this one. This one, again, looks like a parabola. And the equation of a parabola is y equals a x minus h all squared plus k. The vertex is h comma k. So the vertex is right here. So the vertex right here is 0, negative 2. So let's plug that 0, negative 2 in. So x is, that's, when I say x is, because that's the vertex, that's the h comma k. The x, that's the h and k of the vertex. So it's x minus 0 squared minus 2. So y equals a, and x minus 0 is 0. So, sorry, x minus 0 is x being squared minus 2. Now, we have another point on the parabola. So we could take the point, whatever point you want. You could take 1, negative 1, this one here. You could take negative 1, negative 1. You could take this one, 2, 2. And let's take the point that's 2, 2, because they're all positive. So y is 2, x is 2. Sub it in. So 2 equals, and that gives us 2 squared is 4. So we got 4a there, and we got 2 plus 2. 4a equals 4, divided by 4a is 1. So y equals a 1, so we put a 1 here. So that's x. Okay, let's just write down the equation. So a is 1. This is x minus 0 squared minus 2. So that's a 1. And this is x. X minus 0 is x. That's just x being squared minus 2. So again, I didn't need the bracket. There's the equation. And this one goes from negative 1 to a 2. So it goes from negative 1 less than x less than 2. There's no equal signs because they're hollow. These points are hollow. There's no equal signs on the negative 1 or the 2. And the third one, we just got a dot. So that third one, right here, number 3, that's a point. So that's a point. And this point is, x is negative 1, and y is 1, 2, 3, 4. Y is 4. 1, 2, 3, right? 4. So that means that we have this point. So let's write down the piecewise function. We can say f of x. And here we go. We have the first one, which is x plus 1, comma, greater than 2. We got the second one is sorry, I don't need the y. X squared minus 2, negative 1 less than x less than 2. And this one is the x coordinate is negative 1 and the y. So I can say negative 1 here, or I can say x equals negative 1. But these are the x values, so if I say x equals negative 1, y is 4, that's the dot. Okay, now there's 7 marks there. So if you get this one, you get 3 marks. If you get this one, you get 3 marks. If you get this one, you get 1 mark. 7 marks altogether. So again, you need a slope and a y-intercept. You need to write this out correctly. And here you get the equation correctly, and you had to put the interval in. So 7 marks altogether. So if you total up all the pages, you should have a mark out of 25. And 25, you multiply the numerator by 4 and you get out of 100 and change it to percent. Or you can divide 25 into the numerator, get a decimal, and then move the decimal 2 places to the right to get your percent, which means you're multiplying it by 100. And that brings us to the end of this review on piecewise functions. And again, if you like my video, barring the few errors I make, which I normally do, correct my mistakes and you know what you're doing. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, the content. That's the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.